guys think about when you hear creatine? You know what, for me, I mean, I've heard about it for sure. Like anybody in the fitness world and anybody living in this house with Will, I've certainly heard about creatine. But do you know what? I only visualize bodybuilders. I kind of visualize these IFBB pros and, people that are really serious, heavy weightlifters. I do not think about a 63-year-old woman who, I'm serious about fitness and I'm serious about my health and I'm serious about longevity, but creatine is not something that I ever thought that I was going to take. Well, that's about to change, because for the next 7 days, I am trying creatine and I'm going to see what happens. I gotta tell you guys that I've been really kind of nervous about this. I don't even know why, but I'm not one that likes to take things like this, and I kind of think that it's like a chemical of some kind, and I'm a bit astounded how a lot of these weightlifters and stuff just take all kinds of crap without really knowing about it. My husband is really pushing me on this because he has noticed a supreme difference. And he started working out quite heavily and just said to me, Nan, you really got to give this a go. So I'm just getting ready to go to Orange Theory, and I'm going to take 5 grams, which is the dosage, and I'm going to put it in some water. I guess this is the white powder my son is always talking about. All right, well, it mixes very easily. No smell. No discernible taste either. I guess from that perspective, it's not something that you need to get used to. The taste goes down pretty easy. I don't know if I even needed that much water, but hey, whatever. A little extra water won't hurt. Okay, I'm off to the gym. I'll give you a little check-in after and just, see if I didn't grow another arm or, anything crazy like that.
Okay, so I just finished my Orange Theory workout and I'm here with Coach Bailey. And I want to tell you that I'm doing a trial. I'm doing 7 days of taking creatine.
Oh.
And today is day 1. So I want to know, do you notice any difference in me today? Like in my stamina or in my strength or in my endurance or anything?
Well, Nancy's always great when she comes into the studio, but today she was able to get a splat point.
Okay, so creatine day 1, check.
Success.
The other thing that I'm going to say is I was a little bit concerned because after I took that creatine you saw me take in the kitchen, then Paul said to me, some people can have a stomach upset taking it on an empty tummy. And I really wish he hadn't told me that, because the power of suggestion could really put me over the edge. But hey, you know what? I feel great. Came on an empty stomach, had a really good workout, almost did 497, almost burned 500 calories, and I'm feeling good. Yesterday I told you that I was a little bit nervous about taking creatine, and I thought, well, you know what, Nancy? You better get up to speed. So I started doing some research, and you know what? Creatine's actually a natural substance that is produced in our body by amino acids, and it's found in our brain and in our muscles. And you know what? We need to make it. But hey, just like so many other things where it's SGO, sucks getting old, the production decreases as we age. I was also nervous because I didn't know anything about it, and of course ignorance is not bliss. But I've been really happy to find that creatine is one of the most researched supplements around, and the research is vast and really promising. So hold on, let's take round 2. So I didn't take it this morning when I went to yoga, although you know what, doing all those chaturangas and everything, that is actually pretty taxing. But I am going to go now, and I'm going to do some heavier weight, and we're going to see how I do with that. So I've read in simple terms that creatine can be described as a rechargeable battery for our muscles. Anything that we're doing with short bursts of energy, like lifting weights or HIIT training or walking fast or running, really just about anything, our body uses a molecule, ATP, adenosine triphosphate, and this fires up our muscles and allows us to be more efficient with our muscles. The problem? ATP runs out really, really fast, but the creatine recharges so that our muscles are available to us and they're more efficient. I mean, let's face it, we want our energy available when we need it, when we're exercising. So ATP we need, and the creatine we need to recharge that ATP. So how can creatine help me and help you and women as we age? There's no getting around it.
As we age, we lose muscle mass, which leads to weakness, slower metabolism, and a higher risk of falls. Creatine helps preserve and build our lean muscle, and get this, even if you're just doing moderate strength training. If you're like me and you thought that creatine is just for bodybuilders, well, nope. It's for anyone who wants to improve their energy, strength, and function, any age. We all want to boost our bone health, so creatine combined with resistance training may help improve our bone density, which is huge for preventing osteoporosis. Okay, so just doing a quick check-in on day 3 of my creatine challenge. And you know what? Today was a little bit kind of iffy. I was going to a really high intensity strength class this morning, and I ate before I went, and I decided I would take the creatine when I came back instead of beforehand. I took it when I came back, and I really wasn't feeling that great. Like, it kind of seemed like it, for sort of like I felt it in my chest, and I felt like a little bit uneasy in my stomach, just kind of like a little bit grumbly. It didn't last, but we'll see. I don't even know if necessarily it was that. But you know what? I'm going to go back to the empty stomach and or lighter food before I go, and see how we do on day 4 tomorrow. No ill effects from that bloated stomach yesterday, but I did change it up. My class wasn't until 11 this morning, so I ate a little bit earlier, and then I put my creatine in with my IM8 that I'm taking on a daily basis, and I felt great. In fact, I walked to my class, which was a strength, like a full kind of mixed up strength class, walked there and walked back, which was really a little bit over half an hour each way, pretty close to 8,000 steps. And felt really, really good in the class. Certainly like lots of energy. In fact, it was such a beautiful day. I walked so much today that I'm currently over 22,000 steps because I really had that much energy. So you know what? I'm going to kind of date myself here. Tell me if you remember this. Is it real or is it Memorex? Because maybe the creatine's got something to do with it. We're going to keep going and see how it goes. Hey, good morning. All right, so you know what? This worked for me yesterday, mixing the creatine in with my IM8. So I'm going to go with that again today. And this is day 5. I'm just, it's about 7:40, just on my way to Orange Theory. Looking forward to a good workout.
All right, is 5 days too fast to be feeling this? I don't know, maybe. I'm not a scientist, but I've got to say, on those power moves where we're just doing 30 seconds all outs, especially on the rower where we're pushing with the legs, I feel like I got a little bit more gas in the tank. Creatine or not?
That was a row.
Wow, time flies when you're having fun. 7 days in, and here we are, the end of my experiment. And how am I feeling? Well, do you know what? It's really, really interesting because I've kind of come a full circle. I started out, I didn't know anything about creatine. I didn't know how studied it was. I didn't know how safe it was. I was concerned about my kidneys. I was concerned that this was just for the gym bros, just for the bodybuilders. But you know what? I have been busy and I've been active every day, but I've not always been pushing weights. I've done a variety of kind of multidisciplinary activities at Oxygen, but I have felt more energy. And case in point, we did a benchmark yesterday at Orange Theory, and I don't often like to participate in the benchmarks very often, so I gave myself a strategy. It was a 12-minute run, and I thought, you know what, I'm just going to kind of lop along. I'll start at 6, and every minute I'll add a 0.1. And then what happened, shockingly to me, is I got 6 minutes and I thought, what the hell? No. I could really top out higher. So I popped it up to 7.5, and then I came down every minute, and I ended up placing first in the over 60 crowd. So, whoa, Nancy. And you know what? Is that all the creatine? Who knows? You know what? Maybe it's the IM8. Maybe I had a really good sleep. I don't know. And 7 days is not a long enough time to figure out if this is the be all and end all. But I have come to start thinking about this and thinking that, you know what, girls? us over 60, we don't have to be lifting huge amounts of weight to want the benefits of having our muscles respond faster and recover faster, and all of these good things that we've talked about that creatine can do. So am I going to keep going? Yeah, I think so. Is it going to be daily? I don't know. I don't really know about that. I've liked just dipping it in with my IM8 because it's easy to remember, and when we remember to take things, it makes it, hey, so much easier. So just putting it in with that, only taking the 5 grams per day, and that's been working out fine. No stomach upset, no ill effects in any way, and I am impressed. And I think that you might want to give it a try regardless of what your workout routine is. And I'd love to hear if you notice any difference. And now this is only 7 days. You know what? I'm going to keep going. Maybe we'll check in again. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you in the next one.